what you know about purification to save the heart of a nation. Let burn a talking wood, bringing light to a talking wood. Not your largest wisdom and love, vision truth below as a bird. Let burn a talking wood, let burn a talking wood.
Welcome to the Affirm Life Daily Podcast. I'm so glad you joined this evening because you're going to be in for some real good stuff. I have special guest, Malcolm Steele, the urban farmer. He is going to be talking about urban farming, sustainability, holistic health, and a lot more. So welcome, Malcolm. Welcome so much.
Hey, how you doing?
For joining. I'm great. I'm going to give you a quick intro, and then, of course, you can add anything that you want to add to it. But just want to tell y'all, this man, he knows what he's talking about today. He's not just some random guy with a farm. Malcolm Steele's passion for public health, alternative medicine, and functional nutrition is where his path started. Malcolm successfully earned a master's degree in public health with a concentration in alternative medicine and functional nutrition, which enabled him to explore the powerful connection between food, health, and healing, eventually leading him to establish a beautiful urban farm we see featured on his website and on social media today. So now Malcolm not only tends to his urban farm, but he also dedicates his time to sharing his knowledge like he's doing today with us and supporting others on their healing journeys. So again, welcome, Malcolm. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. Is there anything that you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered everything. I do lots of volunteer work also in a lot of the Lakes Community Garden. I love helping people. I love helping people learn. I love learning stuff because I don't know everything. I don't, and I'm not afraid to say I don't know everything. Sometimes I don't know the play, and I'm fine with that.
Right. And he also sells some great stuff. Like this here is one of the things I ordered from him. So tell them where they can find you, find your products, find your social media. Tell them where they can find you and connect with you.
You can find me on social media at Big Steele Urban Farm. That's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Lemonade, Snapchat, and whatever else. I think I'm on everything except for X. I'm not on X or whatever.
Me either.
Yeah, but you can find me on all social media platforms besides X. On the website, I have many different herbs for many different things. My fight is more so for diabetics because I am a survivor of type 2 diabetes. So I sell a lot of stuff dealing with diabetes because that's one of the major things that's impacting our community. And
oh my gosh, yes,
getting the information to the people because a lot of people don't take this thing serious when they get it. And I'm dealing with a client now. Sugar's 585. I don't even know how she's even walking, but.
I lost my father-in-law to diabetes. I know it's no joke. It's nothing to play with.
Yeah, definitely. So, but that's my specialty. Diet. And also, I have herbs for vaginal health because I know there's a lot of fibroids going around in the community, and I've been using this herb that I have been cutting down this whole time. About 30 years, I've been cutting this thing down, and I didn't even know it was a herb that can help with fibroids. And
wow, what herb is it that helps with because fibroids is like rampant, especially with Black women.
Yeah, dog blood herb, which is a very popular herb in the Caribbean. But what it does is help with a woman's infertility. It helps with fibroids, and it also helps regulate menstrual cycle. So,
oh wow,
yeah, very popular herb. But it does wonders. I actually can't even keep it in stock. Like as soon as I get it, and people know I got it. It goes like that. So
and give your website address too.
Oh yes, www.bigsteelfarms.com. And like I said, on there I have herbs, I have shirts on there. I'm getting ready to start talking about Cavendish bananas because I got more Cavendish bananas getting ready to come in. Those will be sold on the site.
Oh, I'll be there.
Yeah, and I'm also going to get into more, teaching and public speaking. Also, I'm going to get more into that also. So that'll be more updates on the website
Okay.
later on. And I also sell lettuces and stuff. So if you're local in the area, Broward County, Dade County, Palm Beach County, I sell lettuces. They should be getting ready to go, January, February. I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out a way to ship the lettuce and keep it fresh, but I'm
They're
trying to
fresh.
factor in
Yeah.
the price, because I don't know if someone's going to pay that extra money to overnight lettuce. I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't figured that part out yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you're doing amazing things. I already know. That's why I wanted you on the podcast. So I'm ready to dig in. So first, tell us just in general, what is urban farming? What is it?
Urban farming is farming within the city limits. And it's becoming more of a popular thing. It's really big in, I believe in, I can't remember the name, but overseas, they have the largest urban farm. I just can't remember what country it's in. I think it's in Europe somewhere, but it's the largest
Oh,
urban
really?
farm.
Okay.
But they're coming, because of the localism of food. You're seeing more of the urban farms pop up, because you have more people that want the straight from the farm to table, and more people
Yes.
taking their
Yes.
health serious. More people don't want all the chemicals on their food, so that's why you see more of the urban farms popping up in the cities. And you don't need 500 acres to have a farm. You can start small. You have people that literally start in the backyards, and they go from the backyard to
That's me.
a plot, and then they go from the plot to the quarter acre, and then they go from the acre, baby steps with it, baby steps, one step at
Baby
a time.
steps.
Like, but you
Yep.
can, like, in a good sized backyard, you can grow a whole lot of food. You can grow enough food to feed the next 2 or 3 houses on the side of you.
You absolutely can.
You do it right. But yeah, that's what urban farming is. Urban farming within the city, and it's at an all-time high right now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad to hear that, because you probably have more contacts in the farming community. And so I'm glad to hear that it's on the rise, because, this whole sustainable living movement, that has to go hand in hand.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
It really does.
How are we going to sustain without being so hyper dependent on them, for everything? The powers that should be for everything.
Yeah, but it's a lot of underlying factors in that too. It's the conditioning of the mind. They have to break those conditions. That's one of the major keys.
The number
right
one
there,
factor.
the condition. Yeah, they got to break the condition, because at one point in time, we did grow our own food and hunted meat and saved up meat and all.
Right.
We did all this stuff, and now. So to some people it seems so far-fetched, and it wasn't nothing but 60, 70 years ago, your grandma was going out there grabbing the chicken by the neck and wringing it and cleaning it up and frying it. And your uncle had 5 acres of collard greens. It wasn't that long ago.
Yep, that's true. My dad grew almost all his own vegetables and stuff. And that was just at our house in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right. But it's for some of the younger generations, like I would say probably ones under me, this is like such a far removed idea of, being able to sustain yourself. So can you explain or define sustainable living and food security? Because these are, like you said, the mindset has to change. So I want to define these terms so people really understand them.
Well, sustainability it has a lot of different terms to it. So for me, sustainable living is like you're dependent on you. You're not dependent on outside sources to feed you. Because this thing is so layered, so many ways, because the people don't see with you not being in control of your own food. Not being in control of your own food is like not being in control of your own destiny to me, right? Because someone can literally take you, hey, you're gonna eat this, and you don't know what's in it. When people feeding you, and a lot of these people that's feeding us don't like us or don't really care for us. So
that's
you got to,
stating it mildly.
so you gotta factor in a lot of this stuff, right? So they feeding you, and it's a form of control, right? Now,
Absolute form of control.
If I have my own everything, if I have my own food growing, I have my own medicine, right?
Got your
Let's
own. You
just say,
can start getting your own power,
yeah,
your own water
your own
sources.
power and all that. That is a form of power that they don't want people to have. That is a power, like, because that's like to me. If I got all of that, then what you gonna
What
get
do I
on
need
me?
you for?
What I need you for? I don't got to go work. I can now. I got all my own stuff. Now I can go out here and take some of this mother leaf. I can create me some products with it. I can create me some tinctures with this.
Yep.
I could do me some classes. I can bring other people in. It's so many things. Being solely independent, and we were an independent nation, but over a period of time, because of the control, they flipped it to dependency. Everything
almost complete dependency.
Everything is a subscription now, right? YouTube, right? You want to watch YouTube without the commercials, you got to pay $19.99 or however much it costs, right? It's a subscription for it. That's what they did. The doctors, right? You sit, instead of them devising a plan of changing the health first, they go ahead and
actually even figure out what's causing your problem. They don't even take that step.
Yeah, exactly. And when
treat your symptom, that's it. Treat your symptom.
Yeah, just because if someone comes to you early, if they say, "Oh," you go to the doctor and say, "Hey, you're potentially pre-diabetic," right? Now, in certain instances, they may prescribe the metformin, and they may not. Some of them may say, "Hey, change your diet up," but which I think the food is the medicine. That should be the number one thing we change. Because I tell people, I preach this all the time. There's no use if you go to an herbalist and that herbalist gives you a concoction or tells you to take this herb or take that herb, and you don't change your diet. It's like you pouring the bad right back on top of that stuff. It's like you can't. You got to cleanse it.
It's just you're washing out all the good that it did.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean, because you got to change your diet, you got to change your mindset, you got to start, becoming holistically well, mind, body, spirit. It all, it all goes together. So when you neglect any one of the three, you're going to have some type of problems, whether it's health problems or psychological problems, emotional problems, or all of them. But so and that food security goes right along with that sustainable living. You don't, when someone can take away what you need to live just like that, or make it where you can't afford it just like that, or make it out of your reach just like that, you got a problem. You have a big problem. Now you got to obey whatever they say, or they're going to take your food away.
We all seen it when COVID happened. We seen people going crazy over toilet paper, man. Like over toilet paper. Yeah. The stuff just flying off the shelf, and we seen you like and that was just a little smidge. It wasn't even the worst it could have been.
That was just a little test run that they were doing to see how compliant we are with craziness and insanity.
So imagine like if it was the goal to where like you would have to be a producer, because this is a major question I have to ask a lot of people, right? If we were to, if the world was to shut down right now, right, and we turn, let's just say we was to turn into a third world country or whatever, right? What skills do you have that you can barter with?
Right.
Can you make medicine? Can you build something? Do you specialize in certain things? Because a lot of people don't have the basic skills to survive right now. If we was to shut down and we had to go back to bartering. A lot of people will be enslaved to somebody else.
Yes.
When you think about
they wouldn't have a choice.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a choice. Like they wouldn't have the skill,
Yeah, no, that is a very good point. And I think more people need to start thinking in that mindset, especially if you're paying attention to how things are going in the direction that we're going in. People really need to change their mindset and understand the importance of having life skills, because they're not going to introduce that to the school system. This is something we have to introduce to our own selves, to our own
Mm-hmm.
children, to our own families, to our own communities. These kind of life skills, because they're super important. And like you said, not that many people have not even one.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, no, I think that's really important. So that kind of leads me into my next question, because when we're talking about family, we're talking about community, that's all very related to the men, to the divine masculine. I talk a lot about divine masculine and divine feminine in my podcast, because it's an essence that runs through everything, not just people, not through everything, that divine masculine and feminine energy. So how do you feel like, farming and sustainability relates back to the divine masculine? And you can first tell me how you define, because everybody kind of defines it differently.
Yeah.
How do you even define divine masculine? Then how does it relate back to farming and sustainability?
Yeah. I mean, I was raised by a man born in the 40s. So like, to me, masculine energy is a man that can go out and he can fix a car. He can build a house. He can, anything go wrong in the house, he can fix that. That's masculine to me. But I grew up seeing, and not a lot of people had the opportunity to have a figure in place to see a man build from the ground up, or a man go and fix his
Right.
own stuff, or if a hole's in the roof, he go up there and patch his own roof up and all that stuff, or working on tractors and stuff I saw all of that. Like I saw this man, fix and work on his own stuff. Like, and I didn't even understand it. I was just out there. I was just amazed at, like,
Right.
man, this man gonna be out. We're gonna be out here by 10 hours on Sunday. But he's gonna get this truck working. This truck gonna be running come Monday morning. It's gonna be running. So, and then too, we have to, because there's a lot of toxic masculinity.
You said it.
The toxic masculinity gets seen as the real masculinity, and that's not it. Because the toxic masculinity doesn't know how to control emotions. A real masculine man has control over his emotions, and I'm a work in progress, because I didn't know no better. I thought the rah 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 and all that, I'm gonna run up on you, and all. I thought that was it. Which there's a time and place for that. There's a time and place for but
that should be your default for every situation.
It shouldn't be the default. Like a man should be able to sit down with another man he got an issue with, and we just, hey, we gonna talk about it without it getting crazy, But the perception of masculinity has to change. I don't know how we're gonna change it, but it definitely needs to change, because what we see, or what's perceived or pushed upon us as masculine, is not masculine. It's really not. It's emotional man. That's not nothing masculine about that at all. And I think too, when you have a real masculine man, he's sure of himself. That woman is gonna give him a level of respect. Like you just, when you in control of those emotions, and you in your real masculinity, you're not worried about what nobody else say, or what they doing over there, how much money this man got, and you're not worried about none of that stuff. You're unbothered.
And you're respecting yourself, you're respecting your woman, you're respecting your family, and that respect is going to come back to you. There's so many men that feel like they can dish out all this massive amounts of disrespect, but then want to be respected. You don't appreciate nobody, but you want to be appreciated. And that's the whole thing with that divine masculine. They understand that flow, that energy flow between them and their partner. When they're really embodying that. So that I like that definition. And so how do you feel like embracing that divine masculine, how does that relate back to farming and to sustainability?
Well, how can I answer this? I mean, it relates, because that's the real masculine man. Like a man, can I explain it to make it make sense? I don't think it get no more masculine than a
Yeah.
man being
And that,
self-sustainable, or
yes.
even a
Yes.
community of people,
Yes.
of men, a community, because we need a community. Like we
Yeah.
all need a community. So
Yes.
that mass, like it don't get no masculine than self-sustainability, being in agriculture, growing your own food and stuff like that.
Right.
You don't get no more masculine than that. Working.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
100%, because that's showing real, true care. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and you're putting the work in behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the real work that that's because that takes such cultivation to
Mm-hmm.
farm. I mean, that's true love and dedication and cultivation. And yeah, I think that's like the essence of, real, masculinity. And so same question, but for holistic healing, how do you feel like the farming and sustainability relate back to the holistic healing? I know we touched on a little bit, but I really want to
That's a good
hammer
one now.
this home about the holistic healing.
So, I'm gonna say this: I think when you're out here, you growing stuff, and you develop a relationship with nature. You
Yes.
develop what I call a reciprocating relationship with nature. You go out, you plant seeds, you take care of the soil, because taking care of the soil, all that is reciprocating. I'm gonna take care of the soil, sow the seeds, plant, mango tree grows, gives us mangoes. But that whole relationship, we've been reciprocating, water, fertilizing, pruning. All
Yeah.
that is holistic in ways. Is because nature heals.
Yes.
I went out today. I was trying to do me some fishing earlier, and my caliber locked up. But the drive across the bridge out in the Everglades, it just it made me relax. I was so happy, and
Yeah.
nature has a way of healing, holistic
Yes.
health, because your
Yes.
health is not just a physical, it's the mental and the spiritual. And
Right.
I was thinking about this the other day, those three, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of us will focus on just one of those, right? So a lot of us will focus on the physical aspect, but not the
Right.
mental aspect or the spiritual aspect. When you have to work on all three, because if you only focus on one, I feel like let's just say you only focusing on the physical, but because you're not dealing with the mental aspect and the spiritual aspect, you're going to keep hurting that physical aspect, and you're going to have to keep doing the same thing again
Yep.
until you heal, until you fully heal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Or you just end up replacing one physical ailment and then you just get a new one
yeah,
because you
just
never dealt with the underlying maybe stress issues or spiritual disconnect or, like you said, getting out in
yeah.
nature and those kind
Yeah,
of things.
all healthy relationships, healthy boundaries, like
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
man, let me tell you something. I ain't know how important boundaries is. Like, man, I'm tell you, I got tired of people trying me like I was a free sample. I like, when you get tired of it, you'll start, hey, look, I done told you, but like, hey,
Right. Right.
but it's it's so many like different underlying factors when it comes to the health and the holistic healing, and the
Yes.
holistic healing could be nature, the herbs it provides, even going out there touching the dirt, that does wonders for your body. Being in that nature, going out
Oh
there,
yes.
being
I feel
around
totally different when I go work
true,
in the garden and come back in.
walking
Oh,
on,
there you
just
go.
walking outside with no shoes on. Like I remember,
Grounding. Yep.
as a kid, it wasn't cool to walk outside with no shoes on. At a certain point in life, like once you start hitting middle school, but when you like
Right.
2 or 3
Like,
years
why you ain't
old,
got your
you don't
shoes?
care nothing about no shoes when you 2, 3 years old. And
Right.
when I don't know. Well, I guess we learn fear, because when we're young, when we're like at that baby stage, that terrible two stage, we terrible too, but we live in fearless. Like we actually
Fearless.
living, and
Yeah.
over time we learn fear. and we stop
Yes.
living. I feel like, like once we start learning fear, to be fearful of this and fearful of that, which nothing wrong with. Hey, I need to be careful with this, but don't be fearful. I think
Right.
once we become fearful, we will place ourselves in a box, or we'll shut down instead of, okay, I know what I'm dealing with here. This could be the outcome, and just deal with the reality of it. But we learn fear, and the fear, it just changes us. Fear changes us in so many ways.
It does. It's so destructive to our spirit. When we have unhealthy fear, like you said, where it's just that constant fear, you're scared of everything. And then it makes you also be so over aggressive because you're so scared all the time.
Yeah.
The scariest people are the ones that are the most aggressive people.
Yes.
Because they're constantly in fear of everything. So yeah, I mean, you when you get into that unhealthy fear, I agree, it's completely destructive. But no, I really like the way you tied that in. I think that's a really good way to look at that connection with the holistic healing. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I need a much better understanding of it myself, is regenerative agriculture. What does that really kind of mean, and how do you create that?
So, well, because it's not a new thing, but it's a new thing. Because regenerative agriculture actually been going on since like George Washington Carver. He actually is the one who I think doesn't get enough credit for saving America when he came up with the way of rotating the crops with the peas and all that stuff, adding the nitrogen back into the soil. So it's been around for some time, and not even just him. This other guy. How to make $100,000 on a acre. I forgot his name. I can't think of his name, but he was another one. But this has been going on a while. But regenerative agriculture is agriculture done, using natural products the way we were supposed to be doing it. Capitalism kind of pushed us away from the organic way, because with capitalism, hey, I can, instead of fighting pests the natural way, which would probably cost me more time, we could just come up with some chemicals that can, we can zap everything, don't have to worry about nothing, and we can, get these maximum yields by using certain type of chemicals and all this stuff. So
Yeah,
that, I think, the capitalism sped things up, and I think that's where we're lacking a lot of
just pure
nutrients.
greed.
Yeah, we're lacking a lot of nutrients and everything because we're speeding stuff up instead of letting it take its time to grow, because nature needs time sometimes. You can't, like, the nature, needs time. Even going back to George Washington Carver, because they were just planting stuff and not letting that soil rest, or not even adding the nutrients back into the soil. And, we end up with not being able to have a big yield this year, or the food doesn't have the nutrients that it should have in it.
Okay.
And I think with the regenerative agriculture, it's more we're using natural things, because regenerative agriculture is good for the ecosystem, which is, the ecosystem is under major stress right now. And
oh my gosh,
we
bad.
have
Really
we
bad.
have some major, we got a lot of major things to do, and I think that's why the regenerative agriculture is coming to the forefront, because we have to figure something out, because we got our grow zones are changing, right? Our grow zones, we had places that was 9s or 10s and 10As or 10Bs.
Yeah,
and
they are definitely changing.
even now, right? The strange weather, right? So I think last night,
The geoengineered weather.
it got really cold last night, right? And mind you, now I be wanting some 50-degree, 60-degree weather down here in South Florida. I don't mind it, I like, but it got cold last night, and I cut the heat on, and that's something I don't normally do, because I be liking the coolness, but it was really cold. Like, normally you know, us South Florida people, when it get down to about 60 something, you see us come out with these big old gigantic coats and everything. You know, it ain't that much 60. And, you know, last night, I definitely felt the pain last night. You know, I was like, no, let me go cut this. But you see the global warming is happening, right? It getting cold in some places, the ice caps, desert areas are spreading. It's a global thing. So regenerative agriculture will help reverse some of this damage done, but it definitely has to start sooner than later.
Like yesterday, and then also the collapse of the insect population. And I think a lot of people underestimate the impact that makes in our lives, period. If there are no insects, I promise you there will not be people much long after if there are no insects. And the insect population is like down by like 80%. And I don't think a lot of people really realize that. And they don't realize that we're dependent on the insects for our agriculture, as well as being part of the ecosystem for our soil and everything.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. The last time you drove about an hour or 2 or 4, 5 hours somewhere, was it any bugs on your car?
Nope. You might have a couple. It used to be where you would have to constantly spray and wipe because you couldn't even make it a few hours without your windshield being covered with bugs. That never happens anymore. Yeah. Never.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to go over to Sarasota. That drive, when we got to Sarasota, that car was, the whole car was covered. We
covered in bugs.
It was covered in bugs. And on the way back, it be covered in bugs. You know, you don't see that. So even the birds, right? We don't see a lot of birds anymore.
No, not a lot of
stars in the sky.
Nope, not a lot of worms. Like it used to be, like after it rained, the sidewalk, you'd have to tiptoe because there'd be so many worms. Mm-hmm. Now there's, you'll see a few here and there. It's a serious issue that I think a lot of people definitely overlook the severity of the issue with the insect population, which we are completely dependent on in so many ways.
Yeah, so that's all the more reason why we need the regenerative agriculture. Because if we control the environment, the bugs will come back. We create. I don't know if you ever seen this movie called Biodome. It had Pauly.
I haven't.
Yeah, it had Pauly. It's a weird movie, right? But they are, they're in the dome, literally in the dome. But they, Pauly. I forgot Pauly's short character in this movie, but him and his friend go there and they turn the thing into a party and destroy the ecosystem in the dome, right? But they rebuild the ecosystem, and when they started rebuilding, all the bugs and stuff that used to live in it, they all came back. So I believe if we can build this ecosystem through the regenerative agriculture, we can see a lot of these birds that would been disappearing come back, a lot of these bugs come back, because that's all that's lacking. There's so much concrete. It's concrete everywhere now.
Concrete and toxins. So, we have to do stuff in a way that respects nature. And we have to understand that we are a part of nature. We can't live independent we can't just mess up what we consider to be nature and think we're going to be fine. We're part of nature. So when we poison nature, we poison us. And I think a lot of people need to really look at it that way. We're not separate. We're one. We're part of the whole system. So I guess I was doing the regenerative agriculture with my little garden. I just didn't know if that was the name for it. Cause I make sure I rotate all my stuff, I'll add nutrients back in, add fresh soil back in, always plant something different. And, cause I have to do a lot of my stuff in pots cause I'm just doing it at my house. And the soil here, I can't even dig it. So it's clay. But I do those methods that you were talking about. So that's good to know. I'm doing it kind of right. so that is good to know. So this is my last question for you. So, and we have answered it already, but why is agriculture and sustainability so important for our communities and for our future? I'll let you kind of sum it up because we did talk about a lot of this, and then we'll take some questions.
Okay, it's important because we got to take the power back. Like too many other people got too much power and control over our everyday life, and we don't even realize it or know it. We don't even realize it. Like like when you think about because a lot of us are in the rat race. I'm in the rat race, trying to get out of the rat race. But a lot of our time is spent everywhere else, but where we supposed to be spending our time in.
Yes.
A lot of people asking me the question, well, man, how can I grow food if I got to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week? And I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for that, because it's like I don't have an answer, because that's how they got us. They got us dependent, and we have to take that power back. We have to become self-sustaining by any means necessary. Like, we just, like, I don't care if you just starting with 5 gallon bucket somewhere. Just start somewhere. Like, your group of y'all get together and just start something. Like, hey, I'm gonna do some sweet potatoes. You do collard greens, and you gotta start somewhere. Baby steps with it, right? Because the people need the power back, right? The people outnumber the system.
Right? Yeah, by like 1,000,000 to 1.
But it's so much brain control going on that people don't even realize
that we hold the power. We're giving it away. They could not do any of the things that they're doing unless we let them do it.
Yeah, definitely. And
there's way too many of us.
Yeah, it's too many of it. It's kind of like when slavery was first over, because of the condition of the mind, a lot of the people didn't even leave the planet. They just stayed there because it was conditioned, and it's the same conditioning going on. Like, and you know, you're gonna see a divide in the people. You're gonna have people that's already doing this stuff, already self-sustaining, and you're gonna have the people that it's gonna be too late, because it's some learning curves in this thing. You ain't just gonna come out here and just, okay, I'm gonna go out here and just plant this and it grow. No, it's a learning curve.
You ain't gotta tell me.
Like,
it's a lot of stuff that I still be struggling with the girl. Like, why is this not growing? It's your phone, and I'm trying to.
Like being like, even today, right? So I wanna learn how to, even though I'm not gonna eat the meat like that, but I just want to learn how to catch a hog and clean them. I want to learn how to go out there and catch a turkey and clean it. I can go catch a fish and clean the fish. I can do that all day long. You know, if I had to at least start to hunt some food, I know I could go out here and catch me some fish. I'm gonna catch something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something gonna bite that line and going in the cooler and going home. But you know, you have to be able to be a producer. We've become a nation of consumers. We have to change that. We have to go back to being producers. We have to go back to being producers, right? Because us as being consumers is dangerous, because we consuming everything and we're not even asking the questions where it's coming from.
Yeah. Oh God, that was the perfect answer. Like, literally the perfect answer. It all starts with us taking our power back and understanding how powerful we are, that we are literally creating this reality. And if we want to create a different reality, we literally can. And people have to understand that we can. Whatever we decide to as a collective, we can create any reality that we want.
Yeah, this is the time more than ever. Like, right now, we can grab this thing by the horns and ride it. It is the time right now. It's not a more perfect time in the world than right now that we can grab this bull by the horns and ride them. Like, you ain't going nowhere, baby. We finna haul tie you, and you ain't going nowhere. You going where we want you to go. It's right now more than ever. More than ever. It's right here for us.
I agree 100%. So, any questions, comments? I'm sure, because this has been awesome. So, go ahead. Hey, so how are you?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm great.
How are you, good brother?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Oh, good, man. Good. So, first of all, great listening to all you had to offer today, and good questions.
Yes.
Thank
you.
To
Sister Cynthia. I guess my first comment is about how y'all was talking about how there's a whole ecosystem that we've lost touch with, right? The from the microorganisms to the bugs and other insects to the small animals, and then we pretty much we're still in contact a little bit with the larger animals, and then there's human beings. But and trees and stuff. But as far as the microorganisms and the small ones, it's like a as above, so below type of thing, right? Because
Yes.
we keep
Perfect.
hearing of different families of deer and stuff. It's like, oh, can't hunt those kind of deer in this area anymore. You got to know the difference. Oh, you can't, hunt that kind of quail in this area anymore. They're running out. Oh, you can't, whatever. And then you hear about the whales and you hear about it's the same. Y'all already talked about it, but it's just very interesting how it's the same thing with the insects. But that is so less well known.
Yes.
And people have no idea, like you said, what being outside was like.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
15 years ago, it was already drastically different than 25 years ago.
Yeah, drastically.
So I'm really glad that you guys brought that up, because it brings about the principle of correspondence, of as above, so below, as within, so without. Because what we're doing, and I guess this is more of a comment, and then I'll just turn it over to you to see if it inspires any thoughts, good brother Malcolm. But what we're doing, in my eyes at least, is taking the hurt and the void that we feel in our own hearts, right? And trying to fill that with an aesthetic, with the buildings, the concrete, the no trees anywhere. And even our architecture is all 90-degree angles. There's no curves anymore. There's no, like I saw a meme on Facebook, and it was showing a picture of a city bench, a park bench in a city from the 40s, and a park bench from 2020s. And the one from 2020s was an L. The one from the 40s, it had all of these flower shapes, and it had, flavor to it. It had curves.
Right.
It's just 90-degree angles now, and we're taking our void, that void that we feel, and we're basically putting that out into nature.
Yes.
And what we should be doing, of course, is filling that void with real life and real experience and real learning, and being able to admit, I'm wrong here, I can improve here, and work on it in a way that, brings life instead of brings death and destruction and straight lines. Terrence Howard said there's no straight lines.
That piggybacks through a lot what he was talking about with the consumerism, because I think the consumerism is another way people try to fill those voids with constant buying. Oh, I feel sad again. Buy. It's What do you think on that, Malcolm?
Yeah, you're right. It's the consumerism plays a part, because it pushes away from the stuff that matters. That relationship with the because if there was a relationship with nature, I don't think people would do half the things they do to the nature. People they drive down the road, throw trash right out the car, just throw it right out.
Yeah, no care.
Like no care. And plastic, even like every time I go out to the community garden, because the apartments around, these people literally throw trash, diapers, and everything into the community garden, and we have to clean it. But they don't realize, because the disconnect, the disconnect with nature is so real, and it's not a value thing.
Right. They don't even understand the value of nature or a community garden. They're like, we got McDonald's right there. What do we need this community garden for?
Yeah.
They got a dollar menu.
Yeah.
It's like
people literally say stuff like that. Like people literally say stuff like that. Oh, I'm not gonna grow no lettuce. I'm gonna go to the store and buy it. But you're not knowing, right? So the difference, I think, from commercialized farming to a more local farm, that local farm, for one, is going to taste better, but it's grown with love.
Yes.
The food, the food ain't got no love no more. Big Mama ain't cooking that food no more. We got little Mama in that kitchen cooking that food, and she don't know what the hell she doing. You got little daddy back there. He don't know what's going on either. Ain't no love no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. That love is important, because I won't even cook if I'm in a bad mood, because you will infuse that energy into that food. Like I tell people, even when I harvest from my garden, you have to be in a certain spirit. You have to thank every plant that you're harvesting from, because it's respect, it's love, it's gratitude. It's all those things have to go into the entire, from the time you plant that seed to the time you put it in a pot and on a plate. So yeah, that love part, yes. Did anybody else have any questions or comments? Let me make sure everybody's unmuted. Looks like Lawrence is on here. Do you want to tell a little bit about the collectively sustainable in Farm Fresh, Lawrence?
Come on up here, Mr. 24/7. Come on up here.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me cut my earbuds off. Hold on.
Okay. Because that definitely relates. This is what he's talking about as far as, doing it, building the community, getting together. You already doing it. Tell us how to join. Tell us how to be a part.
Look, absolutely. First thing is first. We got to build this sustainable food system, and that's with like-minded, like-hearted, like-spirited individuals. That's the app Farm Fresh 24/7, free to download, free to post on. Our intention with this app was to create a decentralized parallel economy through food systems, so we can enact all the things y'all just talked about. And then we've realized, after we built the app and we thought it was going to run by itself, we realized we was missing the block. We was missing that 454 big Steele. So we had to create collectively sustainable. And that's basically the inner workings of the community, manifesting to create these hyperlocal food systems that we're talking about, and as well as that outward community that we're all longing for. So that's collectively sustainable. And if you go on Farm Fresh 24/7, you'll see a post for collectively sustainable. You can click that post and go straight to the Heartbeat app. That's where we house our community, where we are intentionally building a new culture to tie to this revelation of needing to get back to the land. Again, we can't present the new construct with old ideas and old frameworks. So we got to rebuild this thing from the ground up. So I appreciate it. Great conversation.
Yes, absolutely. I am a part of this community, so I can tell y'all firsthand, it is a real community. You're talking about people that farm, that garden, that care about one another, that support one another. Like you're dealing with real authentic people that get it, that see what's going on and understand that we don't go beg for change. We don't go protest for change. We become the change.
Facts.
We create the change.
Facts.
So I highly, highly recommend anyone listening to this podcast, download the Farm Fresh 24/7 app, because you can barter, sell, or just buy directly from people in your local community. And there's no charge to be on that app. And also join the collectively sustainable community, because like he said, they have it set up where you can join, right? There's every state on there. So we have to start building out these communities. We have to know each other. We have to reach out to one another. We have to do all of the things necessary to like I said, we don't even have to tear down what's there, because it will crumble, because there will be no support for it anymore. Because once people see what we're doing, what do you always say, Lawrence? It's better over there.
Right, for real. It's better over here. And over here, it's simply, they say the change is in the twinkling of an eye. Big Steele said, we got to start from the internal construct first. Before you get that food, before you get that acreage, before you get them people, you got to change the way you think, change the way you act, change the way you talk, change the way you hear. And that's where we start to build. So people look to build these intentional, sustainable communities, and they look to grow for the raw resource first. And we saying, no, you could just start making up your bed. You can start being intentional about going to greet somebody and buying bread from somebody in the neighborhood, spending your dollars locally. That's just a cognitive concept. That's recalibrating that.
Yes.
I ain't gonna say that hippocampus, man. I'm gonna start throwing out words I don't even know. But you see where I'm going. We just got to build it from that space, and then we go forward from there. It's unbreakable. It's internal then.
Yep, absolutely. Did anyone else have any comments, questions, anything?
I just thought that real beautiful point. Go ahead, Tennessee.
Good day, loves.
Hey, sweetheart.
This is so exciting. You was right, Cynthia. This episode is amazing.
I told you it was gonna be.
I just wanted to say that I wholeheartedly appreciate the topic, and I appreciate you, Malcolm, for being on here and sharing your perspective, and especially as a functional medicine, like that background it's not very often that I see someone that is melanated that has that background
Yes.
and perspective as well. I am a holistic health coach, so it's a rare find to hear talking about urban farming and healing
Seriously,
and
also,
dogwood
I'm
herb
sorry to
in
interrupt you, but
one
make sure
conversation.
you mention your podcast as well, because they give a lot of health information. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I don't want to forget to tell you to make sure you mention that.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, we have a podcast. Blessings. It's called. It feels weird to talk about it right now,
No, because this is
but I
all
just wanted
related.
to.
All related, you know?
Okay. Well, it's called Holistic Freedom Secrets. It's on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And the whole purpose of it is to really start to build that sustainable community online, because that's a space where me and my husband have been in primarily since around 2019. And this is something that, especially this year, it's been more of a focus in my heart and in my spirit to really connect with people. And so starting to look at the space around me and the city that we're in Austin, Texas, it's been a whole other part of the journey, a whole other arm of the journey of starting to build that local community. So since you have an urban farm and you're already doing the things, what kind of helped you with the shift of getting to the space of really starting to reach out to the people around you, as opposed to maybe like a video call, across the way or something like that? How did you kind of make that pivot and that shift yourself?
Just being open about my health stuff. Because it's a lot of false perceptions out here that you got to have a 20 pack and have big old muscles to be healthy, and that's not what health look like, because there's a lot of people they got muscles busting out their neck and they're not healthy, and then you got some people they might be on the chubby side but they're healthier than the people that got muscles popping out of their neck. So
Yeah,
I
that is
just
very
be
true.
open, and just relate, my situation, because like I say, the diabetes is it's an epidemic in our community, and
It is.
a lot of people do not know how to fight this thing. They just think they can take the metformin and still eat the garbage. No, you got to, like, in the world of holistic health, we treat the whole body. We don't just treat the diabetes, we treat the whole body, because you got to clean the whole body. So I just take my story and I talk about it, and a lot of people can relate to it. A lot of people can relate, because hey, I tell people, you don't have to be vegan to be healthy. And then two, the vegan thing is a whole other thing, because now they're marketing these products as vegan. It's just as bad as the other stuff, because they got all
some
this
of
They
added
got
stuff
all
in
of the
it.
additives causing cancer in teens.
Yeah, and then most vegans I know do not have a relationship with growing food. They don't have no type of real connection into growing food. They comfortable with getting the stuff out the store. And to me, that's a lot of question marks with that. But that's how I relate. I go and I talk. I think for the next the next community garden thing we're gonna do, I think I'm gonna talk about food as medicine, and reversing, taking it, because we have to teach people how to take the herbs too, because a lot of people, they just want to take the herbs and don't want to change. You can't do that. You can't the stuff that's been making you sick. You can't keep taking it when you're trying to heal. You have to
That
change.
part.
You have to, because it's just like with regenerative agriculture, you have to put your body in that state to where it can heal itself. You have to put those phytochemicals and all that stuff in that body so those cells can get strong and push out the toxic stuff, push it out. And that's how, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know, how to really fight something the natural way. And then also learning your the age groups, because most people that's looking for health type of stuff, they're like, mid 30s and up. It's hard trying to get to the younger generation, but the younger generation is sick. The younger generation is just as sick as the mid 30s and up generation, because all this, like, there's so many of these kids have stomach issues because of the diets that they're eating. They start their morning with what they call these hot chips, these
Takis.
They start in the morning with the Takis. They eating Takis for lunch, dinner, and breakfast. That's all they eat, and then you talk to them about a salad. They be like, man, get out my face. I don't want no salad. Give me a hamburger, no lettuce on it.
Right. I don't even want the lettuce.
I'm not gonna lie. I grew up vegetarian, and that was still me. That was still me with no salad and no lettuce on it.
Yeah.
I understand.
I was a terrible eater too when I was young.
We gotta start somewhere.
I still got work to do. I was really bad when I was young. So do you help people, Malcolm, put together like health wellness programs, or do you really just kind of sell the herbs?
Well, I do consultations. I do consultations. I sit down and talk to people, and I tell people I need them to be honest. I've helped people, like I said, with the gallbladder, regulate their cycles, get rid of fibroids. I've helped people with neuropathy. I've helped people with COVID. I've done a lot of things, and
that's awesome.
I tell people, I need you to be honest. Like, what have you been eating for the past month? Do you do this? Do you do that? Because same questions a doctor will ask. Because a doctor or holistic.
Well, I must say one thing. A lot of these doctors don't even be asking you that.
Yeah.
In Western medicine.
Mm-hmm.
What's your symptoms? Okay, here's your prescription. Bye bye.
Yeah. But the questions are important, and I also tell people to go to your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. I'm just gonna tell you, what I recommend and stuff. I'm not a doctor, but I tell people, go to your doctor, get your checkups. Don't wait till it's late. Don't wait till you pass out of nowhere. Then you wake up in the hospital and they tell you got stage 4 cancer. Don't wait till that point. Go get your checkups, because there's something going on in your body. Let's catch it early. Let's catch it before the sugar get, your A1C get into the 16s. Let's catch it early. Don't wait. I encourage people, go to that doctor, get the blood work done. Do what you're supposed to do, And I encourage them, whenever I give out some herbs or something, a concoction or something, I always notate it, taking these herbs, please make sure you change your diet. Please make sure you cut out all the starchy stuff. Cut back on the stuff. Change your diet. I always make sure I put that in there. And I also tell them, hey, I'm not a doctor, but it's like I said, babies. And I also tell people, you did not get sick like this overnight. So don't expect your healing to happen overnight. It's going to take time, because it takes time for your body to break down, because the body is naturally strong. But if we're not putting stuff in it for it to regenerate so it can keep fighting, it's like a car. If I keep driving my car without changing the oil, what's going to happen? The motor going to blow up, or the engine going to lock up. Now, what a minute problem, so a small, simple maintenance, because that's what it like a car. The body needs maintenance, right?
Yeah.
We can't eat pizza every day for 6 months and expect to be healthy, and then you wanna heal after eating pizza for 6 months every day. Now you want to overnight healing thing that don't work.
Right.
Don't work.
You want that cup of tea to have you better that same night. Yeah. You're right. It don't work like that. It takes a commitment to change, and it takes time. Yeah. Did anybody else have any questions or comments? No?
I did want to say one more thing to piggyback on one of the points that y'all made a little bit earlier when you was talking about some people can have a really healthy look because they got either the muscles or they have the, you know, the glow, if you will. But on the inside, their liver is bad, the kidneys on the way out, their heart is, you know, full of the unnecessary trans fats and all of the things. And it reminded me of a phrase that I say to some of my, you know, clients and whatnot. If you only clean one side of the window, you still can't properly see through it.
Right.
It's of no use. And so that kind of switches the inside and the outside, because you're inside the house and you're outside of your body, so to speak, your vision is. And so if you only clean what you can see on your body, that's like only cleaning the inside of the window. You got to go out the house, go to the side, the outside of the window, and clean that side as well. And so you got to go for your body inside, get your hydration right, get your nutrients right, cut out the toxins as much as you can. You're not going to cut them all out either. And that's the sad truth about
baby steps.
Today's our relationship with technology and our relationship with convenience. You are not going to cut out all of the toxins.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible because I mean, the air, water, everything. Even if you try to eat perfect, you're still going to come into contact with some.
Right. But you can optimize your immune system. Yes. You can cleanse, and you can hit the reset button on your liver and your kidneys and the rest of the filters up in there. So, yeah, man, I just, if you only clean one side of the window, you still can't see through it.
Yep. That's very true. And I can say, just from personal experience about the whole, you know, someone appearing healthy and looking healthy and not really, you know, it can be very unhealthy internally. That's what happened with my late husband. He passed away 2 years ago, and he didn't start looking sick until he was really sick, like kidney failure sick.
Wow.
Like, and so you can't take for granted. Like, if you know, you're not eating right, you're not exercising, you're not handling stress good, be proactive. Recognize, okay, even if I'm feeling okay right now, or I look okay right now, just take to heart that if you feel like I need to make some lifestyle changes, make them, even if you're feeling okay, because eventually you won't feel okay. So I just want to put that out there, because I would hate for anyone else to experience what I experienced, because my husband was only 47 years old.
Wow.
We had been married for 27 years. And, it's serious, and that's another reason why I even started this podcast, because I'm like, I'm still here. I'm going to make the rest of my time here matter in whatever way I can. If I reach one freaking person with this podcast, it'll be worth it to me. Because I helped one person maybe have a healthier spiritual outlook or emotional outlook or physical outlook or just whatever. Or just, stand in their freedom, stand in their authenticity. So, yeah, but this has been an amazing conversation. I thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome.
Again, give your website one more time, Malcolm, please.
www.bigsteelfarms.com. I have herbs on there. I'm on all social media platforms except for X or Twitter, whatever they call it. And Tincy, what's your YouTube channel again? I'm trying to remember it. I don't know if I said the name.
It's Ufulu Child, the YouTube channel, but the podcast, you can just search the podcast name too. It's Holistic Freedom Secrets.
Okay.
And there is a link to all their stuff on my website as well, affirmlifedaily.com. I'm going to put a link to your main website on there. And then, of course, when I post it on YouTube, I'll make sure there's a link back to all of your platforms as well, Malcolm. But I just wanted you to give it to anyone listening, because they should go there right now, is what I'm saying. Go there right now as you're listening. And this is what we need. This is the kind of things we need in our life, in our body, in our system, in our spirits. So we have to support one another. When you have somebody out here putting in the work, offering you a way to help heal, take it. Take it. So I will close with that. Thank you all so much for joining me for the podcast tonight. As always, please support on social media, subscribe, like, share. All my links are on the website, affirmlifedaily.com. And you all have a wonderful evening. I send you off with grace, gratitude, and love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.